Social Security just turned 88. Do you remember the 77% COLA? Just one of multiple major changes implemented to this program over the last 88 years. I have all the details plus a whole lot more right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I do want to focus on Social Security and the changes that have come into this program over the last 88 years, as well as some other major changes we can likely expect here over the coming months and the next few years as well, as we do know there's going to be some major changes implemented to this program yet again. Now, a lot of times we do talk about Social Security and how this program needs major reform. Believe it or not, over the 88 years of lifespan of this program, it has actually had a few major reforms go through, and again, many more to come. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. There's that big old button down there. Make sure to hit that if you have not done so yet. I'm here for you right by your side every single day, talking through all the complex details of Social Security, as well as anything popping up right now that may change this program or implement higher benefits, raises to benefits, or any other major changes to this, as well as anything popping up you can possibly grab and or take advantage of as a low-income or fixed-income beneficiary. So again, I'm here for you every single day. I have been for nearly 4 years now, and again, that'll continue going into the future. I truly want to help you out as much as I can. It is a very confusing time right now. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about Social Security. It's been around for well over 88 years now. What has gone on over this time? I can tell you this much: there's not been that much reform to this program. However, there have been some major changes. Pretty interesting stuff here, and again, it is well beyond time for a lot of these changes to go into effect as well. Many more, as we all recognize, right? All right, so get this. Social Security was actually formed back in August of 1935, okay? 88 plus years ago at this time, right? Well, as a result of that, there's only been a handful of major reforms that have gone through. Get this. Did you know back in October of 1950, okay, so what is that? However many years ago, what is that, 73 years ago or so? Yeah, about 73 years ago. In October of 1950, did you realize that that was the first time that a COLA had gone into play? However, they didn't start out with a little teeny tiny COLA. They started out with a 77% COLA. Let me explain this really quickly because this is actually very interesting. So at that time, there had never been a COLA up to that time. But in October 1950, they implemented the very first COLA. It was 77% to make up for basically 15 years of no COLAs. Okay, so that's what they did. Could you imagine today if they came out and said, hey, everybody, we're going to implement a 77% COLA? That would be incredible, right? That would be absolutely amazing. Now, I do not want to give false hope here. That is not happening, okay? I just want to make that very clear. That is not going to be happening, okay? So please do not get your hopes up because it is not a thing, okay? However, it did happen, 73 years ago, okay? But very interesting stuff. So what happened is there were no COLAs. Basically, it was just a fixed amount. So Social Security, when it first started, for the first 15 years, it was just a fixed amount. Just everybody got the fixed amount, right? Well, whatever the person qualified for, but you just got a fixed amount. No adjustments for the cost of living. However, they came forward and changed that in October 1950. Now, here's what else was interesting about it. From October 1950 until basically through half of 1975, the COLAs were always predicated on Congress. Yeah, Congress came forward. They twiddled their thumbs forever. They came forward with an agreement, and that's how they approved the COLA each and every year. Could you imagine trying to get that done today? Yeah, it'd be a major headache, right? But then after starting in 1975, they started automating the COLA tied to the CPIW, which is the Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners and Clerical Workers, which is in other words known as the inflation report. We've talked about it many, many times before in other videos. So thankfully, it's all automated now. We don't need to wait on Congress to do something like that. And that's just what happens each and every year based on the inflation data and the formula that I've talked about again previously in other videos. So thankfully that went into play back in 1975 as well. Okay, so interesting. Now get this. In 1961, did you realize that that is when early Social Security benefits had gone into effect? So prior to that change going into effect in 1961, everybody, you could just file for Social Security at 65. That was it. There was no early filing at that time. However, In 1961, it changed, and you could start filing for Social Security with early retirement benefits as early as the age of 62, as it currently is now today as well, okay? So again, an interesting change that has gone into play, which has helped out a lot of people. As you've heard me talk about before in other videos, 66% of Social Security beneficiaries file for their benefit prior to their full retirement age. So that means prior to 1961, like basically the 66% of people that file for the benefit before FRA, full retirement age, couldn't claim their benefit because there was no such thing as early filing. Interesting, right? I find that to be very interesting. So again, another major change that has been in play for, 62 years, I think the math is on that. Yeah, maybe 62 years or so that has been in play. So interesting, right? I find that to be very interesting. Now get this, a couple of the changes I want to point out for you. Back in 1993, okay, so it actually wasn't that many years ago, 30 years ago. Well, I guess when I say it that way, it actually is a long time ago. But in 1993, this is when the next iteration of tax reform came in for Social Security. Let me explain really quickly. So Ronald Reagan actually implemented taxes on Social Security, okay? Remember that whole thing? Up to 50% of Social Security benefits could be taxable. Well, get this. Back in 1993, President Clinton at the time also signed a new bill at that time that would make Social Security benefits taxable up to 85%. So 85% of benefits are taxable, and that is still in play today. So a piece of legislation that was passed 30 years ago in 1993, still in play today. In other words, anybody who has Social Security benefits and additional income of $34,000 as an individual or $44,000 as a married couple now has their Social Security benefits taxable at a pace of up to 85% of their benefits are now taxable. So again, pretty interesting because here's why. Recently, you probably heard me come out with some videos, and I brought you some details on multiple pieces of legislation that are out there right now to completely eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits, like the Senior Citizens Tax Elimination Act. That is one of them. I recently spoke about in another video where they want to completely eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits, because here is their rebuttal to this. They're saying, wait, somebody is earning income throughout their entire working career. They're paying in through federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, all kinds of stuff like this. And then they go to retire, they get their Social Security benefit, and now they're getting double dip taxed again. They're saying, hey, this isn't right. They paid taxes going in. Why should they be getting taxed on all this income coming out again, right? So some of this legislation that's out there right now wants to repeal the taxes on Social Security benefits. I don't know about that. I guess my whole opinion on that is it'd be cool. It'd be helpful for a lot of people, but good luck. It's not happening. I highly, highly doubt that, okay? Maybe they adjust it a little bit, but I doubt it. They want that tax income, right? So that tax revenue off those benefits. Now, again, I'm not saying that I agree with it, because here's the thing. I agree with the idea that, yeah, you paid it going in, right? They shouldn't be paying taxes on this stuff coming out, right? Just because people that are relying on Social Security benefits are relying on Social Security benefits. Again, the paying taxes on that income is rough, especially for somebody living in retirement on a fixed income. You know what I mean? Especially with the cost of living going up and the COLA not keeping up with that. It's been a tough time. We know that. We've seen it out there right now, right? Here's what else is interesting. In the statistics out there as well, they find 37% of men and 42% of women rely on their Social Security benefit for at least 50% or more of their monthly income. You know what I mean? So that's like a huge percentage of people, right? That is a lot of people that rely on their benefit. I mean, collectively, you could just average that out and say about 40% of the collective population receiving Social Security benefits rely on their benefit for at least 50% or more of their monthly benefit. It's a lot, okay? That's a lot of reliance on Social Security. Any falter in this program, any reduction to benefits, anything that goes on with this program would impact, call it 40% of the population receiving Social Security benefits. That is huge, right? That is why this program is so incredibly vital and why this program is so fragile at the same time, right? Any changes to these benefits downward would be a bad thing, a really bad thing for the beneficiaries. So anyway, want to bring all this to your attention. I found this to be very fascinating. Maybe you think so too. I don't know. But again, these are some of the key takeaways. Now, obviously, there was more reform to Social Security during this time. But again, these are just some of the key takeaways that I wanted to give to you here in this video. So Obviously, we know at this time, the last major reform for Social Security was, call it 1993, 30 years ago. Now, there maybe have been some changes since then, but these are the major changes that have gone in, okay? Do you think it's about time? Yeah, probably about time, right? So let me point out the timeline really, really quickly here, just to kind of give a perspective on when changes come in for Social Security, okay? It was formed in 1935, okay? The first major reform came in just a few years later where they approved survivors' benefits, okay? That was about, 4 years later or so, that was implemented. So not that long after. Then 1950 was when they did the 77% COLA because COLAs were not a thing before that, okay? Then 1961 was when they implemented the early benefits. 1972 is when they started SSI, Supplemental Security Income. 1975 is when they implemented the automated, the COLA for the beneficiaries. In the 80s is when we had taxation on Social Security benefits and an increase to the full retirement age. 1993, again, this is when taxation increased on benefits as well. And now here we are 30 years later and nothing, right? Do you think it's about time? Yeah. Again, it's vitally time right now for Social Security to be reformed. So we know this. We know it's coming. We know all this is happening. What is it going to be? Good question. We're not quite sure yet. But considering it's been so long since we've seen any major reform out of Social Security, you better believe something's going to happen here, okay? We know that, which is why I'm following this stuff very closely and why I'm bringing all those proposals to you so you can see anything that's out there, because you never know at this point. We have no clue what Congress is going to do. Honestly, they don't even know yet, right? Which is why we got to watch them very closely, because they can't be trusted. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. Let's say it how it is, right? Anyway, I thought this was pretty interesting. I want to bring it to your attention here in the video. I hope this helps you. Again, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. It's totally free. Like I've said before, I truly do appreciate it. I just want to do what I can to bring you information, to keep you informed, and again, pointing out anything out there right now that may impact your benefits, you, your money, anything else like that. Again, a lot of things are changing. So again, subscribe, share the video with your friends, family, social media. Go back and check out any of the other nearly 4,000 videos here on the channel. Enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one, and catch you again later in the next video.